multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
What's up, everybody? This is Tex-Mex Morty, and what's up, everybody? This is Tex-Mex Morty, and welcome to a new episode of Marvel Mondays. So, let's get ready to get the panel in. So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Glad that you guys can make it in. Before we get started, I would like to give a shout out real quick because it is our panel member, Mr. Johnny Joestar, aka Johnny Boy 23. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, man. Glad you could join us.
Hey, thank you. This is your boy Johnny Joestar. Just really glad for that. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. I did have fun with you guys on Saturday, doing that little mini celebration. Thank you so much for including me in this group, and I am so honored that I'm still doing this, and I got to meet some new friends. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Thanks for accepting the invite.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. All right. So, also joining us today is going to be JT. How you doing today, JT?
Dude, I'm always ready for Mondays. Mondays are the best days of the week because we can talk about Marvel and our opinions and whatnot. And, give a shout out to the people who are listening right now who are streaming throughout the week. This is really you guys' show, and I'm glad that you guys are supporting us by listening and streaming either live or listen to the recording over the course of the week. So thank you guys very much for your appreciation and for your support.
Real quick, Mr. Joestar, if you want to go into the settings of the lobby, you could go down and you'll see a setting that says there's overview, permissions, whispers, and voice settings. Click on voice settings and select your region to be U.S. East Ohio. That because your ping is really high compared to everybody else, so I think that's what's causing a little bit of your cutout here and there. Because it thinks you're in a different region than we are.
Okay. So sound effects.
You know where it says the channel, like Marvel Monday panel, where it says the little settings for the thing. You click on it, go down to voice settings, and then you could switch your location. You should be able to. But while he does that, we also have Miss Cap joining us today. How you doing today?
Hey, I am so ready to talk today, and it's almost summer vacation for me, so this is gonna be a great day.
Oh yeah. You're what's it called? You'll be getting out of for summer vacation, right?
Yep.
Oh shit! Hold on. Let me do that. YouTube wanted to play something on my thing, so I was like, "Oh shit!" Don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah, no. Glad you guys can make it. Hopefully, Slooshes might be able to make it here soon. He said he what's it called? Yeah. He said he actually just texted me right now and said he'll be joining us sometime during the episode. And unfortunately, my co-host Mr. Oyman was not able to make it in today. So we'll want on that one. Okay, but everybody had a good week since last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone watch anything interesting? Anything?
I just started
Marvel.
Love, Death, and Robots, so we'll see how that goes.
I watched that. Over the weekend with Slucius and Mr. Oyman. Oh no, not Slucius. One of our other friends, Slucius, wasn't able to make it. But I was actually a little bit disappointed in the latest season. It's not horrible, but it just, I don't know. After season one, it just, I guess they peaked and then they haven't been able to replicate it.
I'm only on I don't know. I've only seen 4 or 5 episodes so far, so I guess we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm watching. I've been watching season 1 with Miss CA, and dude, some of the stories in season 1 are bonkers. From Sony's Edge to the Secret War to I don't know, but to the robots. I mean, season 1, I think you're right. It peaked, and then season 2 was okay, but not really strong. Stories added season 1. I haven't seen season 3 yet, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
It won't let me switch over.
That's fine. You're still good. It's just what's it called?
Am I lagging or something?
It just cuts off a little tiny bit, but it's not bad. It's solid.
It said it's not supported on my phone.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird because you said the whisper, right? So yeah.
No, there's another one underneath the whisper. There should be the select.
It's the only one there.
Oh, okay, weird. We'll have to figure it out. But another news. All right, so I guess what people came in here for was, of course, the talk about Marvel stuff. So let's just dive right into it. Today's episode, we're gonna be. I really need to make a thing in the backdrop that has the list of the stuff we're gonna be talking about. But today basically is just gonna boil down to the Disney Plus special episode, let's call it, because we're gonna be discussing all things Disney Plus, the latest and greatest in news, because we got a couple of confirmed things that will be happening within the next year, and of course we're also gonna have. What's it called? The Variety reports, which you could take them as rumor, but whenever Variety or the Hollywood Reporter reports something, it tends to be 9 out of 10 times come true exactly how they report it. So let's just jump into it. You guys want to start off with the news or talk about She-Hulk? I do want to save the overall state of what's it called? Disney Plus shows and ranking and all that for the end. But
Let's start with the news, man.
Yeah, start the news.
So I do know that there was we knew that the show Echo was coming. That's the spinoff of the character that first appeared on the Hawkeye show last year. And she got her first official picture, and they confirmed that the show will be coming early next year in 2023.
Nice.
And but that brings me hope to the fall of 2023, because usually how these shows work, it seems, they get announced, and within a few months they release the first still, and then all right, give me a second. Let me check something. Stream settings.
Okay.
Stream health.
I can't do anything about that.
Okay, sorry. It's OBS gave me a notification that the stream went down. It disconnected, but it looks like it's back up. I don't know. It must be the weather or something. But yeah, we're back on. We're back on. But like I was saying, usually the way these what's it called, reports go, or the way these have been going, is that they get announced, they get a still, and within the year and a half that they get announced, they end up coming out. So I'm really hoping that Echo, since it deals with Kingpin, is gonna reintroduce Daredevil as full costume and everything, and we get the Daredevil show spinning off of Echo within the next year, because they did say, according to the reports Variety and such. Let's see. Let me pull up the thing. Okay, so Joe over at Variety, he said Daredevil Disney Plus series in the works with Matt Corman and Chris Ord set to write. So it looks like yeah, Yeah, so it says that rumors have persisted for some times, but they got a scoop that it is being already written and like gotten the producers on board. So I personally expect it to come out within the next year and a half. Probably my guess would be fall of 2023 or holiday of 2023. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say like let's say probably like in the fall or something.
Fall or winter, yeah.
Are you guys excited for that?
Oh, I think so. I mean, for me, it's like the enjoyment of it. Like, you have this character that people seem to love. Me not knowing much about the comics or anything, is like, is it going to be a good show that I will eventually want to watch again? That's like my criteria. Like, am I going to want to watch this again? Is it enjoyable enough? So we'll see. Like I said, once we see those stills and things start going to production and see what like direction they're taking it, then I'll see if I'll get excited.
All right, Mr. Joestar. Oh, I was actually going to call on you. I was going to say, do you think it has the potential to live up to the Netflix series?
Okay, see, like that was like a big thing because like that. The big question here is, do we need more Daredevil? And the answer is a definite yes. Yes. Okay. The thing is, it's like I just don't know which way they are going to take it. Cap is right. Like, it's kind of like one of those things where now it's somebody else. Netflix was nitty gritty. Thing about it is, it's like with Disney Plus, it's going towards more like the censored stuff, like because like I mean, if you were to kind of put it into like a thing of like the Punisher, like are they going to show something like that? Like I mean, yeah, Disney just bought them off, but they actually going to convert a lot of their shows like into that nitty gritty kind of stuff. And that's like the big thing is it's like I don't really know what they're gonna do because if they're gonna make it like all nice and stuff, it could be still good. But I do enjoy Daredevil, and I like how the way they kind of spin it around with like the characters. But I'm still kind of like kind of like what they're doing with the whole new movies. Like you guys don't really like the goofy stuff, but I actually enjoy it very much because it's just kind of funny. But I don't know what kind of take they're gonna do, and I really do hope they actually do a good job for it. But I mean, it's supposed to be dark, so I'm really hoping that it's gonna stay dark. So I mean, my hat's off to them because, like, I mean, if they're actually gonna keep going and they're gonna keep some of the same characters, awesome. Like, I can't wait to see what they're gonna end up doing.
Yeah, and I see Sluicious slipped right in. Do you agree with his point?
Oi! Don't listen to them. They're all full of shit. Don't listen to them. They're deceiving you. Don't listen to them.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. Do I think it's going to be good? I really, really do hope so because this is very concerning. Me, at least, knowing how far they've fallen off the wagon.
No. Wait.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait.
Their content lately have not been pleased at all, I would say. So it's a little concerning, yeah. They just got to get, like, at least please, just the same choreographer from the original show. That has to be in there.
Yeah.
Or who knows, they might actually make him, like, a full-on CGI Red Devil. I mean, I can see that, too, so.
Oh, man. That would suck.
I mean, you saw She-Hulk, right? You saw how bad.
Yeah.
Not too far off, not too far off here. So yeah, that might have happened to him.
Let's take a guy in the bedroom. Oh my gosh.
Because I think for me is I'm very concerned about this Daredevil series coming to Disney Plus because number one, I enjoyed the Netflix. I mean, the Netflix version was gritty, was dark. I mean, Kingpin and Daredevil just went at it. Mac Murdock, he did a great. Charlie Cox in general, but all the supporting cast and also Electra. I mean, they all did a great job, and but just like Susha said, the choreography is great. It was violent. It has some themes that make you ponder about life in general, and it was just great. But Disney is kind of anal when it comes to some of these characters and how much violence they want to show. So I don't really know. I mean, I really hope that they will go like R-rated Disney Plus show because it's Daredevil. But I don't know. Maybe Disney can make it middle ground like a PG-13, like a little bit of blood ish. But again, it's Disney; they can do whatever they want. But I'm very concerned about Daredevil coming to the friendly side of Disney, which is Disney Plus. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I actually fixed the audio. Thankfully, you guys sound a lot better now.
Okay.
I don't know. So, and it looks like we're all pretty much on low latency now. All right.
Cool.
So, you guys, somebody brought it up earlier. I think it was you, Slucius. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't know how you guys feel about this one, but I personally thought that the new She-Hulk looked like fucking trash. It looked like ass. It just there was some there was just some stuff that was what the fuck? There was just some stuff that I was like, okay, it looks like it could be kind of fun at moments, maybe have some redeeming qualities, but overall it just looks like it's gonna be watchable for me to make fun of it personally. The CG looks like it is terrible. It is just not the worst I have seen yet. And I thought Moon Knight's CG looked a little bit sus, but man,
no, this takes the cake. This takes the cake.
This one.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it pulled up on the screen, and god damn, that looks terrible. It just,
Yeah.
She just
know,
looks
it
so
really does.
fuzzy. I mean,
It's floating, like her face is floating.
what do you think
there,
of
dude.
the
bad Photoshop?
what do you think of the what's it called of the CG in this, or just the overall trailer itself, JT? Whose dog is barking, by the way?
It's mine.
Oh.
Slucius. I think I think this show's gonna suck. I have to admit, I know that Disney and Marvel is gonna fix the CGI when it comes out, but I think this show looks too campy for me. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about She-Hulk, but I know that she is Bruce Banner's cousin. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, so where does the show take place? Because, and I know that in Shang-Chi, like Bruce is back to human form. So did this place? So this take place like doing some events that we don't know about, or I don't know, like because Hulk is Hulk now, but I don't really know like when the timeline the show takes place. But I mean, it looks campy, it looks weird, and I will watch it for the to make fun of it, but I won't enjoy it as like some of the other Disney Plus shows. That's on the streaming service, but we will see.
Did you know, like, you said that, like, I totally just spaced on that. You're right. On Shang-Chi, like, he was human. And I just realized, I was like, oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he? I was like, so you're right about that. That just kind of blew my mind. I was like, so what part of this is, like, in the timeline? Like, it just kind of doesn't make any sense. Because I thought he couldn't change back. Like, that is him now.
I think he technically could, but they were supposed to have met an agreement to be whatever the hell he is. Freaking Silver Fox Hulk when not.
Oh, please no,
Hulk.
please no. Reddit moderator.
All right, well,
He is.
we'll let you take the floor then, Slucius. So go ahead and tell us what your thoughts are.
There's three things, like three major problems I have with this. One, let's just talk about that design. Just terrible. Like, like ugly Sonic looking bad CGI. Honestly, I would say like it's just comparable to ugly Sonic. It's so like uncanny valley looking, and it's just her face is literally floating like there on her head. It looks like bad Photoshop, and her skin color green is just like crayon green. There's no pores, there's no texture. Like with Hulk, like in the the first few movies, like you could see like he had texture and like his skin looked realistic. This doesn't. Like, it really doesn't at all. And just like she's not buff. Like you look at the comics, like she's Miss Olympia.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a character that looks like that. That's not being And also, this is just feminism being done the wrong way. This is Hollywood's version of it. End up shooting themselves in the foot with this because I think it's empowering the way she is now. It's like, no, if you look at her like how she originally looks, that's empowering. She's Miss Olympia. Like she's swole. That's how she's supposed to look. And there's nothing wrong with having that. There's nothing wrong with having that at all. And that's the thing with Disney. They just want to water it down. That's what it is. It just looks a very watered down version of the character. Two, Marvel's left such a bad taste in my mouth with the way they've been treating Hulk as of late, and knowing that he's going to be in the show a lot, mentoring her. I really don't like it. It's just a run-on joke that they keep it going. Enough with the Reddit moderator. He looks like an architect student. Why is the Silver Fox handsome, intellectual guy? Wait, no. I want my swole Chad back with that. I want my original Hulk. Like Hulk is Hulk. Oh, and even in the comics, like he has a whole bunch of different personalities. He shifts constantly between them. Like there's the Joe Fixit Hulk.
For a second, I thought you said he shits.
Oh, I have a lisp when I talk, so sorry. But yeah, yes, the Joe Fixit Hulk. He has, Professor Hulk. Which even if it is in the comics, I always thought it was stupid because isn't Professor Hulk just Bruce? I mean, right? That there's no need for him to be in like Hulk body, right? Because Professor Hulk is just Bruce.
Yeah. Kind of. It's basically kind of is like what we got.
And then Savage Hulk, and he always does go back to Savage Hulk. So it's just like, I feel like Marvel thinks that they're like finished with him, that he's never gonna go back. No, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Dude's immortal. Like he can outlive everyone. So just have him go back, please. It's just I hate looking at it. It's not funny. And again, it's their intrusive, like, not funny humor always ruining everything. Yeah. And then 3 is just the overall tone of the show. It just looks laughable. It's just so bad and cringy. And I'm probably gonna have to watch it with Morty and just be drunk watching it just to make fun of it. It's just not my cup of tea, you guys. Not my cup of tea. But for those of you who did like it, good for you.
So,
oh man,
what is your opinion, Miss Cap? I feel like so far overly the reactions have not been overly positive towards She-Hulk, but what did you think?
You're not gonna get anything positive from me about this either.
Elaborate.
No, it doesn't feel right. Like, I don't really know much of anything about She-Hulk at all. Like you guys said, like the CGI, the way she looks, it's just like, I don't know if they're going to do her character justice even if I knew more about her. I don't think this is the show where I'm going to learn good things about her character. Like I did with like Moon Knight and stuff. Like I had no idea who Moon Knight was, but like the show really showed me want to have an interest of looking who he is. This one, it looks like it's supposed to be an upbeat look at this character, and I don't know, something doesn't feel right about it, and I really hope this is not like what we're getting because it doesn't look good.
Up on the screen, I had some stuff. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. It just what's it called? I just see her and her skin and her thing, and see
she's smooth.
Too smooth.
Yeah.
It's
She's
just
just smooth.
Crayola green. It's just Crayola green.
Well, right here, somebody posted on Twitter. They said, "Bro, who did this?" And they put the poster, but they put the DreamWorks logo, and after the she, they put wreck.
It's Fiona. It's Fiona.
And then somebody else here on Twitter said, "Someone call up the man who fixed Sonic to save She-Hulk."
Really, because it's the same. It's comparable to that. It's comparable to Ugly Sonic.
Yeah.
Oh, and then here's one of what's it called? Reddit moderator Hulk putting the thumbs up, and it just
Please no.
again they just. I look at it and think that I'm just like, what the hell? Like,
it
how
hurts.
could you make
it hurts my soul to see that.
Like, what am I looking at?
It physically hurts.
Why do they look terrible? Why do they look so smooth? They look like Shrek.
Yeah.
From fucking 2002.
Handsome Shreks.
Or 2000, whenever Shrek came out.
Architect student
2001.
Shreks.
2001, that's right.
2001. It's just... Even 2003 Hulk, I feel like, had more textures than
Yes.
Or even
I'm
if,
pretty sure, yes.
Even if he didn't, let's say he was smooth, at least he didn't look fuzzy. For some reason, she looks like she's been... the whole scene looks clear, and then she looks like blurry as hell. It looks
out of
like...
focus. She's a Bigfoot out of focus.
Yeah, it just... It really does... Lucia said, it really does scare me for what they might do to Daredevil. But I remain optimistic because there is, unlike She-Hulk, unlike Moon Knight and all these other characters that are getting like Disney Plus and such, Daredevil gives me hope only because they have a blueprint. They know what the expectations is, and they had to be more in line with that because they know that universally the show is loved. And even Kevin Feige himself loved the show. So, what's it called?
I just hope that means something to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I feel like they hopefully won't drop the ball on that one because they know the repercussions of what could happen if they do decide to completely change the tone of the show. Yeah, maybe you won't see somebody's head get like completely bashed in by a door and then the blood just oozing everywhere. They might do it from an angle where it's more implied than it is actually shown. But they're gonna, I feel, have a similar tone, hopefully, because again, they have that blueprint, they have expectations, and they know the pressure. They know the pressure of what people are expecting.
No, I'll riot if they mess this up. I'll riot, run amok in the streets. Who's with me? Join me.
Take down Daredevil.
Other than that, we also got like the other Disney Plus news that came out was they're starting to really ramp up the the marketing of Miss Marvel, and had like 2 featurette videos that are like a total of 3 minutes. But
I'm still unsure.
Yeah, who
I know.
Who's excited for that show? Let's just put it that way. Let's narrow it down. Who's excited?
I don't know.
Snooze.
Honestly.
I mean, like, even for the fact that, like, you kind of get, like, that vibe that already She-Hulk is kind of bringing. Because, like, even to me, like, dude, like, it looks to me like even for, like, the She-Hulk, it's kind of like How I Met She-Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like, How I Met Your Mother kind of a thing, but it's just, like, a She-Hulk. So it's like a rom-com, you know? And then, like, the way that they made her look is just, like, already, like, an alien. Because, like, when they both, like, touch down on the ground, like, the Hulk and She-Hulk, like, they, like, break ground, you know, because they're like landing somewhere. Like they kind of go backwards, and you kind of see like an alien like right next to them, and I'm just kind of like, what the hell are they doing? So the fact that they're coming out with like more stuff like Mrs. Marvel and stuff, like, dude, I think it's just gonna be like rom-com or just like regular like TV comedy kind of stuff, and like they're just gonna make it like ha 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 ha, like, oh, that's funny. But it's not really going to be more appealing to like the adult fans. So it's trying to ease into like the teens, I guess. And it's up to Disney for that, you know. So
Here's the thing. Like, here's the thing with that. It's one step closer to becoming CW.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
You know what? Okay, I
true.
could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
Man,
yeah.
where's my co-host when I need him? He would have probably. I thought at least there would have been one person who would defend that show like he would, but I'm with y'all. It's just.
What the fuck is that?
It just. I know who that they're trying to go, like you guys said, into a more broad type of audience. Like they're trying to reach different audience, and not every show or movie is going to be for everyone. And I'm glad they're kind of doing that because it makes it to where I don't have to watch every goddamn show, which I do love Marvel, but it's starting to get a little bit crazy with they are going that route. It seems that for the most part of the year, it's going to be one thing per month, basically. They might have a month where they skip, but 5 to 6 months of the year, they're going to have content. Like right now, we just entered it. I mean, we had Moon Knight in March, then April, and then Doctor Strange in May, then this one in June, then Thor in July, then in August, which was the other news, She-Hulk got the release date of like August 13th, I believe, but it's in August.
Yeah.
So that's literally about 4 to 5 months straight of Marvel content, and if I could skip a couple, I mean, I'm not going to be too mad, but
it's a little bloated. Yeah, it's a little bloated.
Yeah, so
let's just go back to time, and you know, we have to wait several months for the next Marvel event.
Yeah, so
I'm
like
just
I
saying,
said,
like what is stopping these people from like actually going back? You know, because like I mean, yeah, you want to make it like stuff, but like what happened to the '90s reboot of like the X-Men? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like we need that.
That's coming probably either end of this year or next year. Like
and
I
that's
said,
the thing. It's I want that. Like most people are going to be asking for that. No one really asked for like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel. Maybe it's more a small majority, maybe.
Well, again, I could see again they're trying to hit different audiences, and again, you can't blame them for that. But I agree. Unlike Mr. Oyman says, "Oh, it's Marvel, a real fan would watch it." Bullshit. No, if it just you could tell that it's not going to be your speed, then it's okay. Like I'll maybe watch the first couple of episodes, see if it clicks. If it clicks, then great, I have something new to watch. But I'm honestly not expecting this to be a show that I would enjoy or a show that they were hoping I would jump into.
And it's like I don't want to shoot it down. Like I don't want to shoot it down. Give me the benefit of the doubt. You know, like let it be a good show. If it's not, sucks. You know,
it's just one thing. It's like thing like you know, Marvel specifically, just like changing of her powers, and then like I think they're trying to treat it like Spider-Man in a way. They're like, oh, Spider-Man was a big hit with the teenage, you know, drama and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
trying to do that.
Yeah, because
with Miss Marvel, and I don't think it's gonna work the way they think it's gonna work.
Again, I think they're trying to lead into Young Avengers, which you got a good portion of the team, and she's most definitely going to be a part of it after the Marvels coming out. I forget when the fuck it comes out next year, but
next year.
Yeah, it got moved. It got switched with Ant-Man, but whenever it does come out, she's going to be in it, and then it's going to probably start setting her foot into the Young Avengers.
And another thing is that in the Avengers game, that's kind of the direction they go with her. Like they kind of like approach it like a Spider-Man, like she's the next big thing. You know, she's starstruck from all these heroes, and she's such a big part of the game. And she's very annoying to play as. Yeah. And because like
don't bring up that game.
It's an Avengers game, and it's just about her only, really.
Well, I'm still salty with the fact that they made us wait like 3 years, or maybe like 2, from when they announced it, and you thought it was gonna be like a full blown good Avengers game, and then they bait and switched us, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you thought you were gonna be the Avengers? Fuck you, you're Kamala Khan." And it's
Again,
like,
most people didn't ask for
okay.
that. Most people didn't ask for that. You know?
I mean, she wasn't even like, I heard that she was actually pretty good in the story. I just couldn't make it past the story. I'm like, I came here to be Captain America. You guys kill him off in like the first, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and you force me to play as Kamala Khan for like 3 missions straight before letting me choose only between her and the Hulk. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I couldn't finish it. I'm like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
Good thing I bought it
Yeah.
Good thing I bought it on deep sell for like $15 or something like that. But even then, playing it online with Slucius, it was so trash. The combat still.
It was hell. Yeah, it was hell. And actually, we ended up deleting it.
Yeah, because it was taking up like 120 gigs, and it was just
so
garbage.
And also, like, you had to just like buy like a whole bunch of things, just like a skin. Every skin that you need to get, like, you have to buy it.
Microtransactions.
No, did you play it, Mr. Joestar? Did you play it?
Actually, yes. I was so excited for it. Like, man, I was just like, oh, Marvel. I hope it's like Ultimate Alliance. Like, oh, it's gonna be so good. And then like, I started seeing that you kind of just go off as like that girl as Mrs. Marvel, like, you know. And I was just kind of like, so it's like gonna be like a kid game? Is that what I'm?
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. Honestly.
And I was just kind of like, what the hell happened? Like, I thought we were gonna play, because you get to play as Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, and Captain America like right off the bat, and I totally agree. Like, you just kind of get like, you know, you're in the mood and you finally are there, and then you just kind of get blue balled. I mean, it sucks.
So it's for that reason. It's really for that reason why I already have a bad taste in the mouth due to her character. Yeah. Which, again, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. You do a redeeming thing. You turn it around. Cool. You know, it'll be a good show.
But also at the same time, though, like, isn't it like, I'm kind of confused because like I don't know what the hell they're doing on what kind of story. But I thought Mrs. Marvel. So I don't really know that much about that character, but I thought Mrs. Marvel, the way it was introduced to me was 90s X-Men. How Rogue was basically like, she was already out there and she had like the black suit with the lightning bolt and stuff like that.
No, that's classic.
And that's the way Rogue.
Yeah, huh? No. That's different. Miss Marvel, they upgraded her to Captain Marvel, and they gave Miss Marvel to this newer character that came out, I think, like in 2013 or 14, around that time frame. And I'm
just saying, like, what would have been bad to just kind of keep characters the way that they were? Like, okay, introduce this new character, but like, I mean, have her to the point where she was around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of losing their faith in the old comic books. Is like, I want it to be at least related to like the old stuff. You know, the things that we actually grew up, the way the storylines were made. You're just kind of like, you're just given like an idea, and then they're just kind of like, oh, well, we're just going to do whatever it is that we want with it. And that's cool. Like, you have a right to. It's nice to see your image, but like, why not go back and actually go with the story that it's supposed to be with?
How they should be.
Yeah. And like, I mean, it was kind of like what you said earlier about the whole like She-Hulk is that, you know, they're not going back to like, I mean, with the Hulk himself, like, I mean, they're kind of just like dumbing him down, which it should only be the start.
Not,
I mean,
not only that, it's bastardized.
No, he's going to get benched. I could guarantee you by the end of the show.
There about Hulk.
I could guarantee you that by the end of the show, he's probably going to get benched or something.
Wouldn't be surprised. What happened?
Really.
What happened to Planet Hulk? You know what I'm saying? Like, where
it's going to be Planet She-Hulk.
What is it?
Maestro,
I wouldn't be surprised though.
Maestro, Red Hulk, the Immortal Hulk. Like, where is all that?
Yeah,
it's up your ass, Lucius.
Oh, I gotta get it out of there because I stuffed a whole bunch of shit in there. Yeah.
Anyways, back on track.
Man,
we derailed just because of that stupid Avengers game. Worst part, before we move on, if you haven't played it, don't play it. The microtransactions.
We're just saying,
they microtransaction up the ass.
That left that bad.
No, not even that. For me, it was the fucking microtransactions where they charge you to get damn combos. Like if you want to get a finishing move or
Yeah,
you
they
want to
charge
get a
you for that.
specific combo to make your character like fight better, fuck you, $5.99. I'm like, I already
That's how it
paid for
is.
this. It's like combos
That's how
should
it
not
is.
be locked behind a paywall. But moving on, back to the Disney Plus episode.
Yeah. We'll go back to the show. Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
back to
back
Disney
to
Plus.
shows.
We derailed a little, but any final thoughts on the news, like, or the She-Hulk trailer that anyone wants to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
May God have mercy on his soul.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Actually, before I
Yes.
play that song, somewhere out there, Mr. Oyman's busy right now, but he's probably like just looking in the sky, and this is playing in his head.
No, he's got. Like,
He's like,
probably
somebody's
feeling like
bad
an
talking
attack.
these shows. Somebody's bad talking.
Like he feels it in his heart, like he has an like ah.
That's what I'm saying.
All
He
this
just
pain,
he
yeah.
just looks up in the air and
No,
he's
no,
like,
no. You know what's gonna happen to him? It's gonna be the end of Doctor Strange, but he grows the eye and it just ends like that. He's like ah.
yeah, because he hears it. So he's like,
that's him. That's
they're
him.
shit talking the Marvel
Yeah.
Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, the shit's like no and then he's like freaking out.
Mr. Oyman, it's called creative or not creative, constructive criticism.
It's because of you that he's gonna grow his third eye and become even more of a Marvel fanboy.
Nah, his third eye's his butthole.
Oh.
I really wish you had that noise effect, the one where like I don't know if you've ever seen that meme where it's like Spider-Man is like, see a chump, and then he like dives in and he
Oh,
farts.
yeah,
Oh.
I see that, yeah. I love that one.
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
Anyway, so moving on, of course, to our main topic of the day, we're going to talk about the overall state of the Disney Plus shows and more or less rank them. So speaking on the state of them, I want to get all y'all's opinion and kind of see what you guys have thought about these shows now that they've been out for about a year. The first year, of course. They could always improve throughout the years. It isn't perfect. I mean, even the MCU in general started off strong and then it just kept going and going and got, in my opinion, better as they went for the most part and more cohesive. But with Moon Knight being done, and before we get to the second half of the year with these shows, the first year from the first show in January of 2022 to the first show of, or not 2022, the first show from 2021 up until the first show of 2022. What is y'all's overall opinions on the Disney Plus shows? Have y'all felt like it definitely has lived up to the hype and makes you excited for these newer shows that come on, like, oh, they get the benefit of the doubt because they've satisfied you? Or do you guys think that there's work that needs, jeez, what the fuck was that? Or do you guys think that there should be, or there's work that needs to be done before you guys feel fully confident of, let's say a character that you guys hold near and dear, instead of getting a movie, they get announced as a Disney Plus show? Would they make you excited, or would it make you get scared based on the track record that they currently have? So we'll start with the birthday boy, you, Mr. Johnny Joestar. What have you thought overall?
I mean, quite frankly, like I thought we were gonna rank these, but I mean, as far as it goes, like
We will.
give me
We
a
will
little
just.
bit of.
We'll rank them
Like,
after we get after we get the overall impressions of how we feel about them, and then we'll go deeper
Okay.
into which ones were the best to
Okay.
worst for you. But I'm gonna go
Okay.
get something at my door, so you guys go ahead. But we'll start off with you, Mr. Joestar, and then I'll have JT go after.
Okay. Well, as far as it goes, like I mean, in my opinion, like I feel like in certain things, like if it were to be a movie, like I think they're better off doing it that way. So at least you have more to like do with it versus like a show, because like with a show, like it could be like a longer hit or miss, and it's like it just takes a toll on Disney itself. Like I mean, like what they did with like She-Hulk, you know, like I mean, people were kind of like, yeah, I kind of want to see that, like it might be interesting, but then like you look at the trailer and you're like just like, oh my gosh, like, and they're gonna be doing a show about this, like what the hell, like what are they doing? And then versus like I mean, you did get some hope first one was like WandaVision, you know, so like I mean everybody was just kind of talking about it. I let it run all the way through, and then I just watched it at the end, and I had to say like it was good. So there was hope. There was hope. I was just like, oh man, like there's some good stuff there. Like they actually did a pretty good job. I mean, like especially with like not Marvel based, but like Star Wars. Like I mean, they even did kind of like the Mandalorian, and that's what I want to see. I want a show that's like a movie. And with WandaVision, that's what they did. They like made like a long version of a movie, which each episode was individual, and it was good. Like it was really well made. And even more hope with like the whole like, Loki thing, because like it was all these different things about parallel universes and timelines and all this stuff. And that's what it kind of gave me more hope for like Spider-Man. I actually like loved it so much because it's just like all this stuff. So yeah, I'm thinking that Disney actually is going in a great direction, but when they finally drop the ball when it comes to shows like this, like She-Hulk, like it makes me fear for stuff like Daredevil. So because
exactly.
you're
My
just
point
kind of
exactly.
yeah, because like I mean you're just kind of thinking like, okay, so you got like the basis of this character, and like now you're thinking about making it childlike, and like
Because that's like the perfect example how it could just fall off. You see that,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is, it's like I really just want to see something good. Like I want them. That's what I was kind of talking about before. I just really want them to go back to basics. Like if you're gonna introduce a character, like I mean, make it to the like what they actually need to be. And if it has to be something short, like to something introduced, I would rather say it would be better off as a movie than it would as a show. Because if it really tanks, at least you hit a you had a like
it needs the budget. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was a miss. Like, and like, I mean, you're just gonna drag it on for like maybe like 8 episodes or something, and then you're just gonna drop it off. Like, I mean,
saying, like, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be super rough.
Yeah. So like the whole like hoping that they're actually gonna do something better. Like right now, as far as it looks, it does not look good.
Yeah.
Because
again, like you need the benefit of the doubt, but
I will say though, they did mention in that report that the show will be kind of like a soft reboot, so they're not going to start from scratch or from square one. They're going to go start off with what's it called? They call it, what was the term they said? They said it was going to be new, but not completely new, or old with a little bit of new to it, something like that. So it sounds like some of the events and such from the Netflix series are going to be constant in this version. So they probably won't go all the way to reintroduce like Bullseye or something. Of let's say Bullseye's the main villain.
Please no, yeah.
Of this, they're gonna basically probably get the same guy that was in the show, and just kind of introduce him right off the bat. It sounds like
just have him be the same. But just have him wear a costume.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Disney can do that. Okay, like that's not out of reach.
Yeah, like I was saying though, it sounds like they're gonna keep the good, kind of get rid of what they considered the bad, and maybe tone down the tone, but not by much. And they're gonna go from there. It sounds like. But
I'm
moving
just
on
saying they really do gotta bring the dude from like Hitmonkey in this. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta bring like that kind of feel to it, because like with Hitmonkey I was like so surprised, and it's not even in Disney Plus, which I mean if they want to get to the real thing, like that's what they need more stuff for like Hitmonkey so that it can get us like in tuned with it.
Because, but then like, if they did Hitmonkey, then it would be a CGI baboon from The Lion King.
Oh fuck. Oh no. But that's what I'm saying, is just like they need something to like actually veer them off from the Disney part. Like if you're gonna introduce like an adult show, why not just go for it?
Exactly.
Just go for it. Go for the adult show. Like go for the.
Because that's our audience. That's the audience. That's
I mean, like
intended for. That's what it's intended for.
They already have like all this like Spider-Man, like the Avengers cartoons, like then keep it at
Exactly,
that
yeah.
way. Like
The
keep it
kids
there.
the kids can watch that. Like kids and young adults can watch that, but we want to see, Daredevil the way it was,
Yeah.
gritty, violent, brutal, all of that.
Yeah.
And that's
And I mean,
something
like,
for a more mature audience can watch. We can
oh
handle that. We
yeah,
like
oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And like that's the thing with even like the Punisher. I mean, like they
Same.
like
Yeah, same.
the last thing that they show is like a bunch of kids. Like I mean, like they're not like kids, but like they're teens and stuff, and it's like a gang. And then he shows up at the very end, and he's just like, "Bruh," and like just mows them down. And I'm like, oh wow, I did not see that coming. Like
gym
on the
fight.
second.
Well,
Yeah.
I could
gym
admit
fight
though
when he's,
that
like beating dudes with dumbbells, like
I could admit that at least with with Punisher, they for sure cannot tone him down because naturally
Oh no.
he's a very bloody, very violent character,
Yeah.
and what he does is straight up murder bad guys. So there's no going around that one. With Daredevil, they could
Exactly,
tone him
yeah.
down and still keep an overall similar feel. I just hope they
Okay.
don't completely tone him down. Like, not every character
Okay.
is rated R worthy, and Daredevil is one of those that could be high PG-13 and still work really well.
it could work. Yeah, it could really work. And that's what I got from even the original series. Like it's just kind of like a hard PG-13, and that's always how I thought of it.
But
And
I
that's
mean, like I
fine,
said, like I said, man. But like, if it's going to adults, let's keep it to adults. Like, if you want to make adult like shows, then just keep it to that. Like, yeah, I want
Not
more
every-
Punisher.
Like not everything has to be family friendly just because it's Disney. Like
Yeah.
if they want
Yeah.
to reach out to more people, then reach out to us. Make
Yeah.
Daredevil the way it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Well,
Wouldn't it be like a good thing though? Like when you say like, oh look, Disney actually surprised the crap out of me because like Moon Knight was there. Like there was like a good enough amount of violence and stuff like that. Just like how he fights because he's like supposed to be like the mystical Batman. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? He's supposed to get in people's faces and like just like crush them.
That's how he is.
And-
Yeah.
And then that's the thing is it's like I just wanted to see more of that, and
Mhm.
I feel like they're just gonna do the same thing that they kind of did with Moon Knight, which like they're just gonna show a little bit of it, and it's just more talky, and I get it, it's a show. I mean, like even like it is gonna be kind of like a CW stuff. Like I mean, honestly, because like okay. I didn't really care for Arrow, but I did like the Flash. Why? Because he's one of like the main.
Get out.
Oh, okay.
Just hear me out. Hear me out. Just hear me out. Like the fact is, it's like they actually did it way decent than they did with like Arrow and stuff like that. But when it comes to this, like with Marvel, like I just hope that they don't turn it into that stuff like a soap opera. I don't want soap opera.
It's going that direction. It's going that direction. That's the thing,
Exactly, and that's what even like the show, like the show of like the She-Hulk is. It's actually kind of showing. It's just gonna be like a comedy, and like it doesn't really give me that much hope for like more future shows because like at least if they have like a basis, which is with Daredevil, like they actually know what they're gonna actually have to pick off from it. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to She-Hulk and it's like a brand new show, like they just have to come up with like some random crap, and like I'm just kind of like I don't know. I really do hope they kind of keep it at the level of the WandaVision, the Loki. Like I hope it's to that level versus like I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't really care that much for like for like Hawkeye. Like
I
it was
didn't
just,
care either. Yeah, I really didn't care either.
like Hawkeye was like another example where you're just kind of like thinking like, oh well, I mean, it was okay, but then they kind of brought back Moon Knight, and they're like, okay, it's actually starting to get a little good, but yeah, I mean,
Okay, when it comes to your regards of the CW stuff.
Bullshit.
Yeah, no, don't ever compare it to the CW. And you got it wrong, man. You got it wrong. Arrow was better than Flash.
That was good.
Flash.
What?
Flash was
First three
garbage.
seasons of Arrow.
Yeah. Arrow 1 through 3 were pretty solid. After that, it kind of fell off a little.
It went down.
But when I didn't make it all the way to the end, after like season 4, I kind of gave up. But Flash only had like one good season, the first one, and it was like not even
after that,
great. It was just okay. It was solid.
Yeah.
After that, it just
No.
after
See,
that.
To each their
Nah.
own.
How could you like that dog
I mean,
shit?
like the DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I mean, that was
Okay,
actually
that
pretty
will
good
be
too. Like,
good.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
no. So the
All of it is ass.
Flash,
Every single one of them. Every single one of them is
Flash,
Hey,
dog
no.
shit.
no.
Legends of
Hold on,
Tomorrow,
hold
No,
on.
you can't
No.
say
Dog
that.
shit.
You can't say that.
Horrible.
No,
Wait.
Single one. Mm-mm.
Deplorable. No.
No.
Wait,
All
hold
of
on. Time out. The CW shows are really good. Superman and Lois is actually a
It's not even
decent
stay there
quality.
anymore.
I
I
still haven't
know.
seen that. I still haven't
Dude,
seen
it's so good. It's so good.
Okay,
The thing,
listen,
they have
JT.
great first seasons, and then
My timeout. You know how
Done.
dog shit those shows are? That when when the new Discovery CEO came up, he came into the studio and said, "Cancel that. That's canceled. That's canceled. That's canceled." And he started canceling the whole fucking shit because it's all dog shit. I mean,
no.
all right, Legends of Tomorrow.
okay.
Legends of
All
Tomorrow,
right.
you have a gorilla going back in time to kill Barack Obama to stop the Legends of
Obama.
Tomorrow. And then the Flash, you have him doing lightsaber battles and dance-offs episodes. And
yeah, he break dances.
Jesus Christ. It's like, I'm glad I stopped watching
the
when I
older
did.
seasons. That's like the
No.
newer seasons.
Oh
Don't
my
even worry about
God.
that.
Yeah, all of them should have stopped
No,
after
no.
season 1, because that's the only good season. Arrow seasons 1 through 3, okay. Seasons 4
I mean,
and
on,
have you?
trash.
But you haven't seen like Crisis on Infinite Earths, though.
I don't care. They'll probably butcher the shit out of that
It's
story.
No,
You gotta
it
watch
was so
all the other ones
good.
even to
Oh
connect
man,
it.
yes.
Dog
yes.
shit. Let's just leave it at that.
No.
If it wasn't good enough for the new Discovery CEO, it's not good enough for anyone. So let's move on.
my God.
Let's move on. Back to you, JT. What is your current thoughts in the state of Disney Plus?
I think the first half of the Disney Plus shows, the one thing I look at is the storytelling, and I think that all 6 shows do a great job at giving a story. In terms of like the in-depth characters and also the flaws and whatnot. And I think that the beginning of the Disney Plus shows are great. Each in their own right. Again, like I didn't particularly like Falcon and the Winter Soldier because of the political stance of like
Yep.
the legacy of the Shield, which okay, I get, but I think that all the other shows are really decent. But I am kind of afraid of the next wave of Disney Plus shows because I think that the one thing everybody likes about Marvel is the storytelling, like visually and storytelling. And I think that phase 1, 2, and 3 have movies where they do a great job in storytelling, like giving us a decent quality story, just like Winter Soldier. And also the visuals are amazing, like in Guardians
Yep.
of the Galaxy and Endgame and Infinity War and stuff. And the stories are remarkable. With like all of She-Hulk and, Agatha and Secret Invasion, I think that the storytelling might not be there as much, which is kind of disappointing because like Marvel bread and butter is a storytelling. And all their like character development. And I don't think that these upcoming shows will kind of do that, which is pretty sad in my part because I think that as big Marvel fans as we are, I think that we kind of enjoy the little things of character development and so on and so forth. And so I'm kind of scared, like I said before, of the Daredevil show because so hopefully they do Daredevil justice. But as it looks right now, I think that Marvel is clearly lacking in the story part of the shows than anything else as of right now.
Yep.
And how do you feel, Miss Cat?
I think they started off pretty strong. WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, like they hit where you want to be. They hit, and it was such a great reception. And they're like, okay, these shows are going to be, just as good as WandaVision. Then we're in good. And then they kind of hit their peak at the very beginning so far, and then
agree.
it kind of went down. They're like, oh, the first 3 shows were hit. We're going to be great. And they give us, it's kind of going down with like new shows like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk. We're just kind of like, oh,
Hawkeye.
like we'll watch anything, that's Marvel related. Like put Marvel on it, they're gonna watch it, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
necessarily true. You have, like, JT said, that storyline. You have to give us that good story. Is this
Mm-hmm.
character interesting enough for me to want to watch it and
Mm-hmm.
learn more about it? And they hit the mark with WandaVision because we already knew Wanda, we knew Vision, like, we knew characters, and we knew what direction they were going into. Same thing with Loki. We knew the character, we knew how it's ups and downs. Like, this is a whole new era of him. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, again, same thing. Like, we knew these characters, we knew which direction they were going. So
Yeah.
these new introduction of new ones, like Moon Knight, they have to start from like scratch a little bit. They're like, okay, people don't know about this character. We need to figure out how to introduce this character and still have a good storyline and action where people will want to see it. So I think they hit their peak at the very beginning, and that may be their downfall.
Yeah.
These new
Yeah.
shows coming.
See,
went too
I
strong.
agree. That's
Yeah,
where I kind of
yeah, yeah.
think they messed up. And granted, some of it was the fault of like COVID and all that, and the reshuffling of these movies. Because originally, Doctor Strange was supposed to come out in like March time still, or not March time still. Yeah, March of 2021, right after WandaVision. So I feel like since Doctor Strange got moved, they could have moved WandaVision closer to that date and put Loki closer to Spider-Man No Way Home, and then had some of those weaker ones like What If or Hawkeye. What else did we get around that time? But some of those shows, just move them forward so that your first impression is still all right. Because Hawkeye I liked it. It wasn't, I wouldn't say I loved the show, but I enjoyed the show. I thought it had good characters.
It was okay, yeah.
It was fun. It had good characters. And it would have been a solid start to let you know, kind of paint the picture of, okay, these shows are going to be better than your typical CW show budgets and all that. And but they're not going to be anything as good as the movies. They're going to be close, but not as good. So if they would have started off with those couple ones and then led to the more intricate, better ones, it kind of would have gave you hope and been like, okay, so they could reach the levels of the movies, but since they started off so strong with the first two, it kind of set in a bar that they just couldn't meet till, in my opinion, till Moon Knight, which that for me met the bar and then some. But it shouldn't take a whole year to be able to match. It shouldn't be that inconsistent. It should be either all across the board.
We don't want to be DC inconsistent.
Yeah.
Where we hit a high.
Okay.
Oh, you know what I mean?
But that's the thing though too, is it's like, I mean, you were right about that, Cap. Like, I mean, they did have a base for it. Okay, the only one that kind of like exceeded our expectations was like Moonlight, just because of the fact that like nobody knew about it, right? But like here's the thing though, the What If series, like, I mean, they still like just went back and like they did their own little spin-off with it, because like it was just kind of like the Marvel Zombies. Like, I was so happy when they did that. But the thing is, it's like they just went to the originals, like even movies from like the Incredible Hulk, and they did all those like little mini scenes of like Iron Man and him and on the top of the donut. Like, they have a lot of stuff that they have from like the bases, so they can work with that. But when it comes to like these new shows, like that's the biggest fear, is like they don't know what they're gonna do, because they just kind of want to introduce it and then they want to mold it to their own vision, and it's sometimes it's gonna fall short. It's gonna definitely fall short for those people that are big fans. And that's why, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I have no hope for like She-Hulk. And like Hawkeye was okay. Like, yeah, you're right. But that's also another basis, because they had something before. You already knew Hawkeye from the Avengers. So yeah, we'll give him an ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they were doing is they gave him an ending, and that's what made it interesting. Now you're introducing this new character, and it's this chick, and like, yeah, she does a great job. She's a good actor. Like, she's actually doing pretty well. I've seen her in other movies too, and like, she was actually pretty decent.
Yeah,
So
Haley Seinfeld.
yeah, like she's actually doing pretty well. But when it just comes down to it, like, I have a lot of fear for this new stuff. And even like they're gonna bring like Mrs. Marvel, I still feel like it's gonna fall short because they have nothing to go off of. Like, I mean, like, I know Alex said that they're gonna do like the whole like Young Avengers and stuff, but like, do we really need the Young Avengers? Like, is that's the question? Do we really need that right now? Like, no. We need to continue some of these stories. If not, like, I get it. Like, they're getting tired. Maybe some of them, they just don't want to be superheroes anymore. The actors don't want to do that anymore. But okay, fine. Like, what's even wrong with doing a cartoon? Like, I mean, just what they did with What If, like, those weren't even like the actual voice actors on some of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they still did a pretty good job. They did a fantastic job with that. But
Yeah, yeah, but also, I think that Marvel had put so much pressure on themselves between those last 10 years of like movies, and then I think they just burnt out. Like,
yeah,
I really think that Marvel put all their eggs in one basket for like Thanos as the main villain between phase 1, 2, and 3, and
yeah.
assembling all these other characters within like a 10-year span of 23 plus movies. I mean, and then all of a sudden, like phase 4 came, and when they kind of announced like what they're going to add up, it was kind of all over the place because like I think they just burnt out. I think Marvel just burnt out, and so they put all these shows out there and trying to figure
Trying
out
to
what
find
to
a new
do.
direction.
Yeah, trying to find a new good
No,
direction
no,
because they put
again,
all their eggs in one basket.
no. What they're doing is, once again, multi-leveled stuff. I could tell you that right off the bat because they are gonna hit the reset button when they do officially get burned out with Secret Wars. But what Kevin Feige has said on paper and such is that they're trying to not make another make people wait a whole 10 years for one storyline. What he wants to do is, again, they seem to be introducing Supernatural, Avengers, Young Avengers, multi-level stuff so that the kids who like Young Avengers could have this event. The people who like the cosmic stuff could have an event with the Guardians, Captain Marvel, Nova, stuff like that. People who just want to watch a darker thing with magic and such could watch like the Doctor Strange movies or Moon Knight, stuff like that. So they're trying to make smaller events that all lead to a really big event with Secret Wars. But Kevin Feige doesn't want to do 3 phases leading up to one event. He wants to make more micro events that will take maybe 3 to 5 years to do instead of having to wait a whole, because a lot of it, if you think about it, it is a really risky thing to do what they did with Thanos, and it paid off then, but you can't really do that again as a business. It's too risky because let's say they do introduce one route to go down. They only go down one route, and it's like the stuff with like Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, and it just doesn't hit with the audience. Then you're stuck with a storyline that's going to be a 10-year plan that people aren't liking. So then you'll have to pivot last moment, and it could come off as what's it called, incohesive then. But it might seem like they don't have direction, but they if you look in the behind like the main ground, what's being presented, and you kind of look around that, you could kind of get an idea of where they're trying to go.
Okay.
Yeah, but who hasn't gone in the overall state of? Did you go, Slucius, or did you already kind of interchime with the other people and say what you thought?
It's just pretty much everything you're saying. Like, I agree with. It's just pretty much like covering everything I would have said. The thing is, like, this is Disney doing what Disney does best, which is just pushing out content. Just a whole bunch of content that sometimes, like, we either want it's something that we want to see, or it's something we don't want. So it's going to be a mixed bag, with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to be the way it is, for a while. And the show's like, again, like I really liked WandaVision. Like that's still my favorite. The other ones, it's just like also kind of like these are characters I don't really like all that much, so it wasn't really my cup of tea. I can't really say like they're bad shows. I just don't like them because I'm not that interested in them. But now they're just more they dabble into like the woke shit and their little high horse. Like the more She-Hulks and Miss Marvel stuff we're gonna get, so it's like get used to that.
Well, I hope they could find a
I don't
balance.
like it, but I don't know. And that's all I'm saying. That's just like I think that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to cringe stuff like that. Like we're gonna see more of it. And again, they think that's what they want because they're just pushing out a whole bunch of content to try to please everyone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could be more inclusive and such like that, but you got to be tactical about it. And sometimes I feel like they are just going the easy route. What the suits in the office would think like.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the best way?
Yeah.
What's the best way of doing easy money? Let's just pander this way instead of actually sitting down and thinking, hey, what could we do that would connect with a more broad audience and bring us different demographics. I just feel like they're treading a really weird line that could be feel either natural and be good, or like you said, just come off the wrong way.
And it's either or. Like there's no happy medium with that. It's like you either do it right or it's
all right.
Rough.
Well, moving on to the ranking part, since I think we've all kind of said set the standard of where we are in the thing. We'll have Mr. JT. Why don't you tell us first? What would you do, or where would you place the first year of these shows?
All right, so I'm gonna go from 6 to 1. Number 6. I have to go with What If. Again, like I like the aspect, I like the animation style, I like the story, but I don't know. Like I love Ultra Vision, but to me, it was just a great animated show. Like I've seen these characters before, like introduce Captain Carter, but overall, I think it was all right. Number 5, I have to go with Hawkeye. Again, I liked Hawkeye. I think it was a great ending to his story and introduced Kate Bishop. But it was during Christmas time. It was all fun, so it didn't have any like 1-2 punch like these other shows about to mention. But overall, I thought it was all right. Number 4, I have to put Moon Knight. I enjoyed Moon Knight. I thought that it was very clever and everything, but it's I don't know. I like the story, but again, it was not a lot of action scenes that I wanted, but it is what it is. Number 3, I have to put Falcon the Winter Soldier. I did not like this show at first. It was in the bottom of my list, but after thinking about it, I thought that it was a great way to introduce social themes as well as the legacy of the Shield, which is something that Marvel was trying to think about between like Bucky and also Sam in terms of like, who would take the Shield or become the next Captain America, and so we finally got the answer in Sam. Number 2, it's a toss up between WandaVision and Loki. I have to go with Loki at 2. It's a great show. Loki has depths to his character never seen before, plus with the different variants of him. But number 1's got to be WandaVision. Like, I kind of talked to Miss Cap about it. It's like Marvel has a faithful theme of grief. Like the first 6 shows kind of hit grief to the core, and like, why is that? Well, because of Endgame. Like, Infinity War and Endgame kind of screwed everybody up, especially it hit Wanda so much that she had to enslave a town and and bring like Vision and her kids to life in order to like grieve properly. So that's my number one show, WandaVision. Just the story, the direction that's in, and also just the amount of pain that she had to suffer, that she suffered throughout the show in terms of like dealing with losing Vision and losing her kids towards the end, and again like whole with the dark hole thing. That's really powerful. So WandaVision is my top show so far uh, in this last month and a half. I mean, year and a half of shows.
Okay, good. That sounds pretty good. And why don't you go next, Miss Cap?
So again, I'm going to start at the bottom. So number 6, I have to give it to Hawkeye. It was a good holiday themed show. Around Christmas, family, introducing a new character. It kind of gave us like a bit of an ending for Hawkeye, but also kind of gave us like something that we didn't get from the movies, and I gotta give respect for that. Because in the movie he was just like this one-off person that's off to the side, always gets hurt, always has arrows, and it's just like this normal guy, you know. So this show kind of gave him a little bit more in depth of like who he really is, and in that. So I kind of respect that, but it's still number 6 on my list. 5 is What If. I really enjoyed it. It kind of gave us a new spin on like what if this happened instead of this from the movies. And the animation style is really good, and honestly each episode was like, could be its own thing, and then for it to be like the last 2 or 3 episodes for it to be like comes together, I think was really cool. Number 4, I have to say Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Wow.
Oh wow!
I
That's a
I knew this was
shocker.
gonna say something.
That is a big shocker.
It was high on my list, but I had to move some things around. But it's number 4. Honestly, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. It was a really good, like JT said, like uh, legacy show. Who is going to, at the end of the games, Steve had given the shield to Sam. And so for us to know, like, where is he going to take that? And for us at the beginning of that show, like, Sam giving away that shield was like, what are you doing? Why are you not picking up something that, Steve had trusted to you? And I think that's, Bucky coming into that, like him asking, like, why'd you give away the shield? Steve gave you that shield, and him, Bucky's relationship with that shield and with Steve, it was like, hey, that's more personal to me as well as it to you and their buddy relationship, and I really enjoyed it from beginning to end. Number 3, I had to give it to Moon Knight. I think I give it number 3 because of its freshness, as a sense to it was a new character, you know who he was, and you're learning more about him, and I've really enjoyed learning more about the character as he goes through this time, and I really enjoyed it, as I mentioned before. Number 2, I have to say Loki. I really enjoyed Loki. I think it was just very enjoyable to watch this new version of Loki that we probably seen but hadn't seen, because he's like technically like a variant from the end game Loki. I think it's like he still has that mischievousness. He learned, you know, he didn't go through all the changes that he had to go through in the movies, and I think that this new version of him is quite interesting, and I like it. I can't wait to see what season 2 does with this, but definitely was like really high on my list. And then number 1, WandaVision. Like I said, they started out really strong with WandaVision. Like JT said, like phase 4 is all about grief. You look at each one of these shows, there's some sort of grief happening in these shows or underlining. And WandaVision really just hit it off the bat where it was like she in mourning. She's lost practically her entire family. She lost 5 years of her life. she had to kill the love of her life. Like, there is so much going on with her that, like, you can't blame her for, like, enslaving a town. Like, if you were the superpowered person and you lost everything, what would you do? Superhero or not, if you went through what she went through, would you go through the same thing? And honestly, I really loved how each episode was like a different decade, and from her favorite shows growing up, and kind of had to learn what was happening in each show. Each show kind of gave you a little bit of hint that something was wrong. You couldn't figure it out until they were like, hey, this is what's wrong. And you're like, oh, and it was kind of like, oh, okay, now I figured it out. But like, also you don't figure it out. And I've really enjoyed that mystery to it. There you go.
Very good, very good. So now let's hear from Mr. Joestar, the birthday boy. What did you think? What's your ranks?
Okay. So, I did like those little things like where you guys were talking about. So I'm gonna go off with the bottom. Uh, bottom for me will be Hawkeye. I mean, it's not a bad show, but like it's kind of like what Morty said. It's literally just it's good to watch, but it's not something to like be like, oh my gosh, it was so great. And that was like even like right after the Black Widow. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean like oh God, perfect timing, right? Like I mean, honestly, like what the hell happened there? Like this shit should have been like put like in the right space, but they totally messed it up. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like yeah, it was a good like after for Black Widow, so you got to see like a little bit of that in that show, and like I said, like it's about all the bases. Like I mean, they're going off from like something bigger. So this is like the ending of something and the beginning of something new. And that's what I enjoyed about it. So that's like a lot of these shows, that's what it's all about. So yeah, the last one, I mean like yeah, you're right, Cap. It's like a Christmas special, kind of a thing. That's the way I kind of treated it. It was just like a show for Christmas. So that one was cool, but it wasn't at my top. The next one was the Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was okay. Again, it goes back to the whole, oh, who's gonna pick up the mantle, and trying to figure that out. But at the same time, they're kind of both like, well, I mean, you know. Bucky probably would have been a good one as Captain America, but then it's just like kind of goes to Falcon, which it is so funny because like I've actually known Falcon as Captain Falcon when I was a
Oh.
kid, because like in the Avengers, that's what they called him, if I'm not mistaken. Like when I was a kid, and they have that show, they brought that show back into Disney Plus, which is I kind of want to check it out because just to see what happened with it. But like it was the one where like the Avengers were fighting Ultron, and like even like the Scarlet Witch is in it, and in this one they refer to him as Captain Falcon, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, I got to go back. It's been a while since I was a kid, so uh, but yeah, like I watched that, and that's how I referred to it. And like people later on were like, oh, you play Smash Brothers? I was like, oh yeah, Captain Falcons. And I was like, oh, from the Avengers? And they're like, no, from F-Zero. And I was like, what the hell is F-Zero? So and then like later on I figured out that I mean I actually used to play F-Zero, so I mean side thing. But I was like really interested in this just for the fact that like I just wanted to see who would pick up the mantle, and the fact that they brought in like the bad guy, which is the super soldier of like the U.S. agent. I was just like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. It's a nice little thing to it. Like I thought that was really cool. And that same actor was like one of the dudes from like Black Mirror, and his story was like really crazy because it's all about a video game. So I was just like, wow. So that's the only way that I knew that actor from. But yeah, that one was okay. My next one would be like Moon Knight. Moon Knight, like I got like again, it's just one of those things that they didn't have anything to work with. They just kind of like kind of did a shot in the dark, and it actually ended up pretty well. So they introduced a new character. They actually leveled him out, and then they kind of showed all this stuff, and then they did a great job. Like they actually did pretty decent. So like, but it wasn't just my top thing because like, I mean, I'll tell you later about it. But it's just one of those things that like, yeah, I just saw like, like I said, like a mystical Batman. Like, I mean, he's just like with the moon, he can like become stronger and all that stuff. And the only crazy part about it was just the fact that he is crazy and he has like schizophrenia, like the different personality disorder. So I mean, I thought that was a really good twist because it still reminds me of like that show Legion, which
Yeah.
was pretty decent, but then it kind of just dropped off because I was like, oh man, like they kind of are grasping at straws. But yeah, so that was Moon Knight, and then after that, I know a lot of you probably might disagree with this, but like, I mean, it was kind of like WandaVision. I know that it was like the first one, and they did start strong, but I mean, like at the same time, like I told you guys before I even started this podcast, like I would kind of let them run all the way until the end, and then like I would just binge watch the whole thing because that's the way I like to do stuff. So with WandaVision, it was actually well made. Like I was so surprised. I was like, wow. I mean, these people's hype was not like, it was not distrusted. Like all these people were telling me, oh, you definitely got to watch it. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. And thankfully to like one of my friends, Brandy, like even her kid was telling me, she's like, no, 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 you have to watch this show. And so like I remember at some point I watched like the first 4 episodes and I was like, huh, that is really good. And then like once they finished it off, I just watched the rest of them. But yeah, it was really well made. Like I said, they finally end something and then they're trying to start something new, which is really great. And as for those people that have actually watched, the Doctor Strange, it's where it leads to.
Mhm.
So it's a good in between. It's a definite good in between. Um, next one would be Loki. Loki was actually one of my favorites just because like I like that interdimensional stuff. It is one of the biggest things that I'm really big on. Like I love time travel. I mean, Rick and Morty, you got, Back to the Future, you got Bill and Ted. Like I love stuff like that. I love interdimensional stuff, space-time continuum. Oh my gosh, tell me about it. I love stuff like that. It's so cool. I mean, parallel universes, like I mean, that's one of those things that I'm just like really big on, which is kind of like where it fell to me with Loki because it's just one of those things where you wanted to see where that character went, and it ended with what was it, the Infinity War, where they actually showed it when they're all trying to get the jewels or the Infinity Stones. I'm sorry, it's Infinity War, and they're trying to get all the stones, and like you see where that Loki escaped, and you're just kind of like,
Mhm.
so where the hell did he go? And this was so great because he literally gave him his own story, and they did it so
Yeah.
fluently. It was just so good. It was well done. Well done, Marvel and Disney, or whichever way you want to put it. Um, but here it is. My number one will be What If. Now, I know some of you might be
Really?
like, well, that's just like, it doesn't really go with like the whole storyline. It's like, yeah. I wanted to see something more than just feeding off to something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it did a little bit just because it did referencing to the old movies, to like the first Iron Man, the first Hulk, and all that stuff, or like in one of the stories. But it's just because like the fact that it's like the animation and like what they kind of brought into this whole multiverse stuff. So like I'm really big on that. Like I already said, like I'm just a huge fan of like time travel, multiverse, like interdimensional stuff. Big fan. So when they actually did this, it brought my dreams come true because actually even one of the stories was Marvel Zombies because that one was the one of the biggest ones that I've always wanted to see on the big screen. Well, not necessarily a big screen, but a screen that was well done. And I'm hoping that they would actually do that with some of the future stuff because guess what? Like it was a zombie apocalypse and they still like they dumbed it down a little bit but it was still good enough and that's what I'm hoping that they might even consider when they actually make Daredevil. So with the What If, like definitely I saw like so much potential because they're just like, oh man, they're actually doing a good storyline and introducing like all this like what if questions. And it's so good because I love that questioning our heroes, giving them a new like storyline because it's veering off, and it's okay to veer off there because guess what, it's not actually going to the canon stuff, it's just like it's its own thing. So the whole Marvel Zombies, like, it doesn't go against like, you know, the Infinity War or anything else because guess what? It didn't really happen in our story. It happened in their story. So you can actually say that. Like, I mean, if they were to actually come up with like the future stuff where it's, you know, Secret Wars, well, which Secret War was it? It was like it was this universe's, not theirs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Well,
and then
yeah,
like
that's a good
and that's
point.
what kind of helped out. That's
Yeah.
what I feel like it helped with definitely Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because with the whole what if, I mean, now you actually have Tobey Maguire and the other guy and this new one, which definitely it makes sense because none of those stories added up. But guess what? They actually accumulated together and they said, no, those are different dimensions. And you're like, yes, because guess what? Now the storyline doesn't have to change. You don't have to mix it up. You don't have to bring somebody new. It's their stuff. That's that storyline, and that's the way that they're gonna keep it.
Yeah,
You know, so it's perfectly fine.
I do like the variety in your guys' picks. Everybody did have something different at number one for the most part and everything like that. With that being said, it's not a drill. Not a drill. Of course, what's it called? While we were discussing this about, I let y'all go for the past 15 minutes, but the new Thor trailer did drop today. So do you guys want to watch that with me while we're live?
Oh shoot!
Sure.
Yeah. I'm
on my
play it
Xbox. I'm gonna definitely put it on. The popcorn.
Oh, no. I love the narration. What the hell? That CG looks like She-Hulk level. What the fuck is that? Yeah, I'm gonna try to talk over this due to so we don't get copyrighted. And even if we do, I guess we're not. It's not monetized, so who gives a shit? But I hate seeing that little thing. And honestly, if it's it's Gore with the Necrosaur. Ooh, what the fuck?
Ooh.
He looks kind of cool when he's in the shadow, but other than that, he just kind of looks like Christian Bale.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, look at Jade.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, whoa.
I said.
Yeah, no.
Natalie Portman is so hot.
That final battle doesn't. Oh, wow, that looks kind of cool.
Okay.
Whoa.
Wow, that's interesting. Color schemes. Man, again, the visuals do look good. I will not take that away.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Oh wow, he's
Really interesting.
Man, he's jacked as shit. Yeah.
When does this come out?
July 8th, right there.
Yeah, July 8th.
Oh, there you go.
All right, that actually,
of course.
That looked all right. I mean, again, I'm still not super hyped for it. That's just me though. What did you guys think of that?
I just finished watching it. You know, no, it looks fun. It looks kind of similar to what Ragnarok did.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, you know, I'm gonna do something goofy and fun, but you know, may have maybe a serious undertone. Maybe doesn't really look away in the trailer, but
Yeah, it looks
I'm
it looks like when Gore shows up,
good
it does.
I want to watch it.
It does look kind of serious, and I hope it's serious, and I hope it does stay that way. But I don't know. What did you guys think of Gore? I thought I mean, I know that Christian Bale's probably going to do a really great performance, and he did look kind of menacing, but he just...
It doesn't look CGI, that's for sure.
No, he has a
Yeah.
nose.
From my perspective.
I think it's...
Yeah.
I think it's the overall, what's it called? I think it's the overall nose that he has that just throws me off, because it makes him go from, like, I don't know, they could have just pulled a Voldemort and like did a little tiny bit of CG that's not super nasty looking and had him with no nose, and he would have looked more monstrous and a little bit more scary. Because when he was in the shadows and you couldn't see his face very well, he was pretty cool looking, but then all of a sudden he came out and it's just like, oh, it's just albino Christian Bale. But,
Yeah.
but I don't
American
know.
Psycho.
I don't know. If y'all were on the fence, did this new trailer sway you over? I mean, obviously, we'll watch it on our own and be able to actually hear what they're saying and stuff like that. But did that won y'all over, or didn't really change your opinion much from where you saw it?
No, not change. I still want to watch it, though. It looks really fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So that's kind of what...
Yeah, I'll see
Don't
if
give
I.
him a business card that's like egg white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, but did
It's
y'all
gonna
see?
tear your head off.
Did y'all see that Thor gold helmet when he had it on and he was talking to Jane?
Uh-huh.
Why couldn't
Yeah.
they make a prop of it? It looked fucking awful. It looked like She-Hulk level CG. Like it looked like somebody put a Instagram filter over a picture there. It was just...
It looks so overgrown on his face.
Yeah,
you know?
it did not look like he had a helmet on. I don't know what that's all about. Because if I could understand if they CG'd the helmet out so that you don't see it until you see the movie, but the fact that they put it on there, it looked rough.
Yeah.
And the movie comes out in like, what, a month and
Month and a
a
half?
week?
Yeah.
Not even a
Yeah.
half. We only got like, what, one more week of this month, really? And
Yep.
yeah, so, and that, well, yeah, I guess a month and a half, because it would be closer to the second week of the month in July, but it just, that CG looked rough, and it looks like it's going to be very CG heavy. So I hope
Yes.
that they really, this is older footage, which usually is in trailers, but I hope that for the sake of it, it does not look like that in the final product, because if it does, it is that was rough. That was yikes. That would definitely make it hard for me to watch. Yeah, it's still kind of on my radar. I might not go day one, but I'll definitely try to check it out when I can, when it comes out. Are y'all gonna go day one?
I will be on vacation during that time, so it will be after I get back.
Oh, okay. Not during your vacation.
It won't be a couple of weeks before I see it.
I'll probably be like definitely coming back from vacation, so definitely it would be a little bit probably that after weekend. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. Like, I mean, I love Thor, and like that sucks. I totally spaced that it was gonna be so close to July, because like what I wanted to do was just get super buff, and then like wear like a onesie and with a cape, and then like just because like I already have the hammers, and you guys were playing with them, so you're like yes, and I wanted to like have my helmet, and it would have been cool, but I guess not. I'm gonna look like what's his name, the one who plays Zeus.
Oh, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
I'm basically Russell Crowe in it right now, so I can't really do that. I mean, I could still technically do like Fat Thor, but I mean, I don't want to do that right now. I don't have so much hair, so I can't really do shit in my ponytail.
Yeah.
All right. So before we close, I guess I didn't go, did I? When it came to the ranking, I'm gonna keep it brief because we are going on for a little bit long, and like I mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, I haven't been overly impressed with these shows. They, for the most part, have gone from average to good. But I would start off by putting, let's see, not What If. It's between What If or Falcon and the Winter Soldier for me at the bottom. Like, I do get where Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going with the like political aspects, topics, and stuff like that, and it worked in the beginning when like it showed an aspect that we've never seen superheroes deal with, which is financial issues. We never seen them deal with that, and I thought it did have its place. It did overall do that, but it came at the cost of making the show very inconsistent in its pacing. Like they put that in the forefront in the beginning, then it just completely disappeared and went in the back burner for 3 to 4 episodes. And then the second to last episode, it's like, bam, right in your face. We're back here again. And it like completely just halted the overall and derailed the overall, what would be the term? Not hype, but the overall speed that the show was going. Like, it was going at a pace, there you go. The overall pacing of the story just came to a stop, and it just felt out of place because the stakes were so high and shit was about to hit, and it's like, we don't have any time to spare, but they somehow made time to spare. And it addressed them in a good way. It overall on the topics it was talking about, but it just, the way they executed it in terms of pacing was a little bit off for me, and it really brought down the show. Then I guess What If would be the next in line for me, just because what's it called? I don't know. It just didn't hit as hard as I was thinking it was gonna be. It did have some really cool episodes and concepts, like the what's it called, the Doctor Strange one. I freaking love that one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
as well as the Marvel Zombies and the overall accumulation of the whole season kind of coming together nicely towards the end, leading to the Infinity Gauntlet Ultron. But then it just had a few just bad, stupid episodes, in my opinion, like the party Thor that was throwing a party so hard that it was going to destroy the planet. That just was just stupid, in my opinion. And the overall animation, I thought it was passable, but it just wasn't as good as some of the other animated shows based on either comic books or, like, let's say Love, Death, Robots. They could have gone that route where well, I guess not, because it all came together at the end, but technically they could have had each episode look different animation styles. Or if they were going to just have one animation style, I kind of wish it was not this weird 2D, 3D thing, and just kind of gone with either full 3D animation or just stick to 2D, especially with some of these more interesting TV shows out there and animation styles they could have gone with. I feel like the one they chose was a little bit generic looking. After that, I guess what would be third place would be Hawkeye for me. It was all right. I did enjoy the show. It's the most consistent for me, where it was kind of fun, but again, it being fun for me does not equate to being good. So while it wasn't a bad show, it was just the definition of just mid for me. It had great characters, it had some fun action, but it was just a lackluster story that felt rushed at the very end, and it just, as much as the characters were fun, it could have used a little bit better pacing and action. Because when we did get the action, it was pretty cool. It was pretty engaging and fun. Felt like a Ant-Man movie, but it just, I don't know, it just fell right down in the middle for me. Like, I would say I enjoyed it. Would I watch it again all the way through, like in a day or two? Probably not, unless I'm feeling very like holiday spirit, and I'm like, you know what? I want to watch something Marvel that's Christmassy, but not Iron Man 3, and I might put Hawkeye in the background or something, but not something that would be my go-to. And then, of course, after that, in my what that? After that, I probably would have to say Loki. It was a good show, well made. I did skip a couple of episodes, but I did get the overall story from reading about it and such like that. But I did watch a decent amount of it, and it didn't retain my attention as much as some of the more like the top two did. But it definitely had some good acting. I'm not a huge Loki fan, but it did engage me enough to care for what was going on for the most part. I just it did have pretty good visuals too. I will say that I was pleasantly surprised that it did look good when it needed to. But other than that, it was okay. It was okay for me. I didn't care for the Kang that we saw though. He was kind of annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 2 and 1, I kind of go back and forth between. But I say if I'm going to put 1 on number 2, it probably will be WandaVision. I really dug the show. I loved how creative they were with going through sitcoms throughout the time. I felt episodes 1 and 2 felt a little bit similar, but and I wish they would have gotten a little bit more creative with that. The only issues I did have with the show was that was the one show out of all of these, because all of these other ones, if you've noticed, I kind of mentioned, for the most part, they felt a little bit rushed. And this one was the only one that I feel like it actually could have been a little bit shorter. It could have been either 1 or 2 episodes shorter and still gotten the same story through and probably even benefited from it, while the other shows probably would have been better with an extra couple of episodes. But WandaVision, it was great. It was great. I loved Elizabeth Olsen. Her performance was fantastic, especially on the second to last episode. It was just, she just killed it. I love seeing Vision and everything like that, and expanding on their story from where we last saw them in Infinity War and Endgame. But like I said, it started kind of overstaying its welcome, and then unfortunately, in my opinion, it had one of the worst season finales of any of these. The story it just went from very intriguing, very unique and stuff like that to extremely generic and really dodgy CG, honestly, when she was fighting Agatha. And it just boiled down to a big CG battle of purple magic being shot at against red magic and so on and so forth. So it was a little bit disappointing to see something so unoriginal and inside of a show that for the most part was pretty original and pretty unique. But after that, of course, my number 1 for me as of now would probably be Moon Knight. I agree with one of the commenters here called The Hulk. He said that Moon Knight appeared for approximately 17 minutes out of the 6 hours. Well, it was more like 4.5 if you take out like 15 minutes of credits of each episode. But he did appear for only about less than 20 minutes in overall in the 4 hours, which is not even a third of the show, I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to do the math right now, but I agree with the Hulk on that one. It was rather disappointing to see that. I did wish we would have gotten more Moon Knight, especially with some of the fighting that he got in the last episode. It was very brief, but it showed potential. Unfortunately, the show never reached that potential in the action department, but where it really did it for me was just the overall characters. I thought Oscar Isaac probably beat Elizabeth Olsen for me in the acting department in the first year of Disney Plus shows, which I didn't think was going to be possible, but he gave one hell of a performance. He just knocked it out of the park. He was able to play basically 2 different versions, and each one of them felt like its own person, honestly. I actually...
Genuine.
It didn't feel like it was you could see it was the same actor, but how his mannerisms, how his facial expressions, and the accents, of course, they all did genuinely feel like there might have been somebody else. Like it was, and the way he just flipped from each personality, basically pretty close to on a whim. It was it was rather impressive. I did like the co-stars as well. Their characters, while they didn't get as good of characterization as Moon Knight himself, or I shouldn't say Moon Knight, Mark and Steve, I thought they did pretty good, well with what they were given, and what they were given was pretty solid. It was a good introduction to Moon Knight, and it gives me hope that now that they've gotten the chunk of how, like, the complicated character that he could be out of the way from here on out, they could crank it up in the action department. So overall, while it did have its flaws, I enjoyed the overall story and characters that were presented to me during those 6 episodes. Again, not perfect, but very consistent and entertaining. And for me, I know most people aren't going to agree. But yeah, so I see that Slucius, actually he left a while back. I think while Mr. JT was going, I think he had to hop on out. So thanks for stopping by, Slucius. I know you're probably going to be listening to this later, but we really appreciate you dropping in. And yeah, I think that's a good place to start saying thanks to all of you guys too, because we are almost reaching that 2-hour mark, and I feel like we've all kind of said where we're at right now. Looking not too excited about the future so far as of now. That could change later, but I feel like we're all still kind of optimistic. They haven't dropped the ball with these shows, but they definitely could. I think we could all agree they could use a decent amount of more work to elevate them to a more comfortable level, to where we will be excited as soon as they announce something. Won't you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much to the Thank you so much to the audience that came in. And thank you guys, the panel, of course, for stopping by. If you do like what you heard and you want to keep hearing, knowing when we do our news episodes, get that notification and such like that, just go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button. That way you could be up to date on what the Screen Crusaders and, of course, Marvel Mondays puts out. But other than that, I would like to once again wish a happy birthday to Mr. Joestar over there. And thank you so much for stopping by. You gave one heck of a conversation, and try to make a case for that dog shit CW. I appreciate your attempt.
It's still good. It's still good. You're just a hater.
I appreciate your
Everybody has
attempt.
entitled to their own opinion.
I appreciate your attempt. I'm pretty sure the one guy that's canceling stuff at Discovery, he also appreciates that there is someone out there liking that garbage. But let's carry on. Let's carry on. But seriously, I do appreciate you coming in. I'd also like to thank you, JT, for stopping by. So glad that you could officially be joining us every Monday. And I do enjoy hearing what you got to say. And fantastic conversation from you, Miss Cap. So glad you guys could stop by. But again, this is Tex-Mex Morty, and till next time. Let me see.
You know how much I sacrificed?